What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and we finally have the info we've been waiting for. We had the official announcement today on Twitter that the next Sugo-Fest, as you can see here, is going to be the One Piece movie collection, UTA's birthday celebration Sugo-Fest. So UTA is going to be the next upcoming Sugo-Fest exclusive. Now remember, this is not a Super Sugo, this is not a limited time Sugo from what we know. This looks to be just a generic end of month legend, which means that after this Sugo-Fest ends, they are going to be put into regular tickets. So don't be inclined to summon on a banner such as this, unless if you really like the character, which we'll go through in this video, of course. But alongside, there's going to be a new Kizaru and Fujitora, and it's going to be a dual unit. As of me recording this video, we don't have info for him yet, but when we do get his info, I'll make a separate video regarding him. But UTA is what we're going to be covering in today's video here. UTA being the next legend, man. I mean, it's crazy, and we kind of suspected this was going to be the case, considering we had a feeling that the treasure map was going to be movie related, and now we can pretty much say that, yeah, it looks like we're going to have more movie celebration stuff, which I'm all for, because movie celebration stuff is just exciting, as long as it's not Straw Hat stuff, because we always get Straw Hat stuff. When it's something relating to non-Straw Hat characters, it gets me excited. So let's go ahead and have a look here. That is the PvP abilities, of course, but here we have the full artwork here of UTA. She has a lot going on here. It's all of the Straw Hats, and this is the special animation is when she performs the song Backlight in the movie, which is just really, really epic. So let's have the info here of UTA. So UTA here is a Psy Free Spirit Shooter Super Tandem character. Yes, we're getting more Psy Free Spirit stuff, but the thing is even with her PvP stuff, even though she is Psy Free Spirit, I mean, in terms of her Rumble stuff, she's not focused on those things in particular, but her regular kit is just kind of weird. We'll go through it here, of course, as we normally do, but, you know, she's a super type character, not an EX super, which I thought was kind of fascinating, so she is only giving the buffs to Psy characters. And her captain ability is actually very basic. I'm actually kind of disappointed in it. So it gives Psy, Free Spirit, and Shooter characters 1.3 health, 5.25 times attack, boosting their attack by 5.5 if they have a Psy or a tandem slot, so very specific. Makes their tandem slots matching, boosts the chances of landing on a tandem slot, reduces despair by 10 turns, which I think is a pretty neat addition. You know, we always like a bit of utility. In brackets here, it says, does not reduce the effects in place when swapping to the captain. So I thought this was very weird and out of place. I don't know why they would put that here, but it's for the rest of the kit, because this character has abilities to switch herself into the position of captain, and this effect here is just stating that if you're inflicted with despair and she's a sub, when you use her special to become the captain, she doesn't just remove the despair. It's only upon infliction, if she's the captain, she will remove the 10 turns of despair, and allows you to overheal 2 times past your maximum health limit. So it's a very basic captain. No cooldown though, which is a bit disappointing, so no cooldown, but HP, attack, matching slots, makes tandem slots appear more often, and 10 turn despair removal with overheal. So it's a very basic captain. I don't really know what to say. I wish it was a bit more unique, but it's really not. It's a very basic effect. But let's actually talk about the special, because the special is kind of crazy, right? So let's start off here. There's actually 3 separate panels for the special. So first of all, 13 turn cooldown, that's with expansion, so it's probably 14 naturally. Changes her own slot, including block, into tandem, and prevents this character's slot from being changed until this character lands a perfect strike. So this puts it in a slot change impossible barrier, so you have to hit a perfect to remove it. I wish it was not perfect. I wish it was a good or a great, in my opinion, but it is what it is. It then says that if this character is a crewmate, you can switch this character out for the captain for 5 turns, which is kind of crazy. You can switch it out for 5 turns. This is the first character in the game that has a captain swap for that long. Then it says it applies a turn progress effect, activated effect, on the crew, and has the following effect. So this is very similar to the first Legend UTA. Legend UTA has the same thing, a turn progress activated effect, where it gives you a buff, and every single turn, that buff will give your crew certain abilities. So when you activate the special, it says this: when the special is launched and the turn begins, reduces crew's special bind duration by 6 turns. That's already a pretty big positive. Then it says, during the first turn after launching the special, it's going to boost Psy and Free Spirit and Shooter characters' attack by 2.5 times for 1 turn. There you go. After the first turn, you get that buff. Then it says, at the start of the second turn, boost Psi, Free Spirit, and Shooter characters' attack by 2.75 for 3 turns, and double damage dealt to delayed enemies for 3 turns. Okay? And then it says at the start of the third turn, further increases the crew's attack boost and damage dealt to specific status effect boost enemies, whatever. This basically just means, at the start of the third turn, further increase attack boost and conditional boosts by 0.25, and then if the effect is removed by the enemy before the full duration of this effect, then it's still going to provide you with a 2.75 times attack boost. If the crew already has a turn progress activated effect when you launch the special, you get a 2.75 times chain boundary for 1 turn, and it caps out at 35.0, which is pretty good, and that's for 3 turns as well. So if you have double UTA, you can get a 2.75 chain boundary. You can also get the effect of like all of these buffs. So basically what it means is first turn, or you probably want to use this on like a stage 3. Hypothetically, if it's a stage 5 fight, on stage 3, you use the special, become the captain, you get buffs. And then you get it on stage 4, where you get the attack buff and the conditional buff for 3 turns. And then on the last turn, when you reach stage 5, the conditional and the attack boost will actually be buffed to 0.25 extra. And then you get the other effects as well. And then, of course, if you have double UTA, you can get a chain boundary on top of it. But this all wraps together when we have a look at her super type effect. So the super type effect says that you need any 2 of these characters on the crew. So you've got Luffy, Shanks, and then any one of his crew members, including some new additions of Howling Gab, Building Snake, Bonk Punch, Monster, Hunger, and Gordon. So this is cool because some of these redhead pirates that have never had units before will be receiving units in this brand new Sugo-Fest batch. So that's exciting. The effect of her super type is really cool. So it allows you to completely remove Captain Swap if you want to. It reduces Special Bind by 6 turns. So I love that she has that in her super type because her special removes Special Bind. So having the ability to have her become the captain, and then while you're in your captain position, you can remove Special Bind, I think is kind of interesting. But then again, does her crewmate ability resist Special Bind? Yeah, it doesn't. So I don't know how that's going to go. That could be interesting. I don't know if that's actually going to work properly. This seems very weird. I guess unless if you keep like her as the captain, so you don't rely on the captain swapping mechanic. I don't know, it could be very weird. But then, it also delays all enemies by 1 turn, ignoring immunity to delay or status effects, heal 15,000 HP, and then Psi becomes Super Psi. So remember, with overhealing as her captain, she can get very good healing out of that. But being able to get a guaranteed delay through all status effects is so strong, especially when you count into the fact that her special ability provides you with a 2.75 attack. How much? What is the conditional boost? Yeah, 2 times conditional boost, so it becomes up to a 3 times attack, 2.25 times conditional boost, and you get a 2.75 chain boundary if you have double UTA with the guaranteed delayed conditional boost as well. Like, in theory, this is a pretty strong effect, and I like the fact that she can also resist despair as a captain. It's just really the problem that she doesn't have cooldown, which means that you're going to have to stall a lot to get her to work effectively, unless, of course, you're in content where she receives cooldown, then that actually makes sense. So it's a very odd character to really talk about because she has these really unique abilities that not many other characters in the game get access to, but because she is so unique, I do like that about her. She's not a very typical Sugo-Fest exclusive character. But let's move on with the rest of her abilities. Her crewmate abilities are nothing really special. Crewmate ability, Psi Free Spirit Shooter tandem slots are matching, whatever. Psi Free Spirit Shooter base attack by 100, okay. The support effect is actually pretty interesting. Pretty much the same characters are required for her support as her super type, including Gordon as well. And the support effect says, once per quest, if inflicted with Special Bind, reduces the supported character's Special Bind by 5 turns at the start of the next turn. That's incredible. A 5-turn Special Bind removal is good, but remember, it is only for the character that she supports. It's not for the whole crew. Unless if it's a typo. I hope it's a typo, because if this is a 5-turn Special Bind removal, it's one of the best supports in the game, but it is only just for the supported unit, so it may seem crazy on paper, but there aren't going to be too many situations where you're actively going to use that. And then you have the Super Tandem, and this is also pretty disappointing, but the good thing about the Super Tandem is you can activate it on any turn, so it doesn't only happen on the final stage. You do need 2 characters on the crew, including UTA, so you can have Luffy, Shanks, and one of the other characters from Shanks' crew. And the Tandem attack boost at level 5 is a 2 times Tandem attack to Psi Free Spirit Shooter, and you also get all your type slots counted as beneficial. So that's so disappointing. I don't know why they add that effect on so many super tandems, because that's such a whatever ability. You know, if you're doing your burst turn, this doesn't really matter. Like, yes, on turns where you're not doing your burst, like if it's a 5-stage content, getting this super tandem on stage 3 or stage 4, making all your type slots matching, yes, it is really cool, but I wish that this ability was something else. Let's just say that. So the super tandem is a little underwhelming, but you got to remember, this is a generic, regularly released character. Typically, these characters don't have amazing god tier super tandems, very low tier super tandems, not like a super Sugo-Fest exclusive. Those characters will typically have more powerful super tandem abilities. So that's a normal kit. Like, obviously there's a lot to go through here, but the fact that you can just use a special, you get this tandem slot that you can put in a slot change impossible, and as long as you don't tap perfect with UTA, you can generate this super tandem every single turn, which I think that's the whole goal of this character. And then also getting, you know, this conditional boost, her attack boost, you can have a chain boundary when you have 2 UTAs. I understand what they're trying to do with this character. I don't know if it's going to be good. I do think that she seems alright, but I think we have to really use her to get a full grasp as to how good she really is. I mean, she's got a good type and class combination. That's a really good way to start it off, and it really depends on how good her rare recruits are that come out alongside her. So we'll have to wait and see, but seems okay though thus far. Next thing we need to talk about is her PvP abilities. So obviously she is going to be a supporter unit here, so she's not going to be a huge damage dealer like that V1 legend UTA, but her special is a 20 CT, which is pretty low. And then it does a large range attack up level 7, speed level 7 to your teammates, and then targets shooter teammates for CT 20% reduction. And then if you're inflicted with half stats, targets shooter teammates for attack up level 10 for 20 seconds, and then 100% chance of haste. So that's kind of crazy. You could get level 17 attack up to your shooters. That seems kind of crazy. Of course, UTA has to be inflicted with half stats, but if you're able to do that, like, that's wild to get that much of a damage increase from one special. And then her rumble ability is also focused on shooters, so you get a 6 attack and 6 HP, which is pretty basic. Defense would have been better. And then for the first 40 seconds of battle, your whole team will receive level 3 CT speed increase. This is really good because shooters kind of lacked good CT speed increases, because if you're not using Kizaru, you just don't have CT basically. So I like that they've got this instead, which allows you to shuffle your team up a little bit. I do like that. She does have grand party stuff, which is fascinating, but of course Gear 5 Luffy being as good as he is, I don't think anyone's going to take his place. So the activation requirement, you just have to pass 40 seconds, okay? And then targets your shooters for level 5 shield for 30 seconds. All enemies, 100% chance of half stats for 30 seconds. And for the first 50 seconds of battle, targets your team for attack, speed, defense level 5 for 30 seconds. And after 50 seconds have passed, then your whole team will get a 50% heal and a 40% CT reduction. Okay, so there's different things that happen. So if you launch it in the first 50-second window, then you get a bunch of buffs, defense and stuff. But if you launch it in the final 50 seconds of a battle, you get healing and CT reduction. So I guess you can use it depending on the situation. So if you know that if your opponent is about to hit you really, really hard, then you can launch it early, get a bunch of buffs, tank all the hits. But if you're in the late game and you need to secure that victory, you can launch your specials and then quickly use her CT or use her GP burst to get healing back and to charge your specials again to potentially wave clear much faster. So I like that it's multi-dimensional in that aspect, but I don't think it's going to supersede something like Gear 5 or Roger, for example. And as for the characters she gives buffs to in GP, shooters actually get more CT increase there. Sign-ins also get a buff as well. I mean, she seems okay. Shooters are one of the worst classes in Pirate Rumble right now, so any buffs to them are going to be huge positives. So I can't wait to see how this is going to work on shooter teams specifically. Would love to get my hands on this unit. The fact that she's also a shooter character and also a Psy unit means that she can actually synergize with V2 Kuzan, who is a really good unit in Rumble. So we'll have to wait and see how things go. But that's the breakdown of UTA, a very, very fascinating Sugo-Fest exclusive. And of course, we have a Fujitora and Isho that I believe is a Sugo-Fest exclusive, which we'll be discussing as well. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about Legend UTA down below in the comment section. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. And if you guys did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.